Look at me. Let me ask you a question. How would you feel if I got my cousin to come to your house and get your kid to come to his house and call me on the phone to give me, so I could pick his brain and get some ideas from him and tell him I was going to make him rich and famous, and then use it and never did what I told your kid? How would you feel if I robbed your kid like that? How would you feel about that? I mean, really, if I got my cousin to go to your kid and bring him to my house and I pick his brain and tell him I'm going to make him rich and famous, and then I don't do it, and I make a lot of money on what I pick his brain for, how would you like that? Because that's exactly what happened in 1974. That's exactly what George Lucas did. You can love Star Wars all you want. I've got witnesses. I got two. My older brother barely remembers. My younger brother does. And I'll show you the clip again as many times as you want to see it. The one that I posted, right, that was a conversation between my brother and me talking about 1974. Yes, that's 3 years before Star Wars came out. Sorry that if you don't like it, if you love Star Wars, hey, you know, I liked it too, until I remembered what happened, and I didn't remember what happened in 1974 until 1999, unfortunately. But I tried to start talking about then. He tried to harass me. I backed off for a little while, but I mean, at first I didn't. I mean, at first I was all the way until, I think even in 2002, I was still kind of trying to get things out. I stopped until, I think in between I wrote a few letters to other people too. So there was really never a point when I completely stopped. But then in 2014, I started making videos and trying to tell people the truth about George Lucas and what he did. Hey, if you think stealing candy from a baby's okay, you probably have issues, okay? But if somebody did that to my kid, I'd be just as mad as I am now. And again, I restate what I've said in my other videos, and I can't keep doing that because a lot of people haven't watched my other videos. That I'm not in this for the money. I want the truth to come out. I want the truth to come out. That George Lucas has got to admit at some point he stole Jedi Knights in the Force from a 7-year-old kid in 1974. That was me. When I lived on Riata Boulevard in Louisville, Kentucky. 5513 Riata Boulevard. His cousin lived at 5707 Robinwood Road, and if you Google map it, they're right around the corner from each other. One's here, one's here. They're right around the corner from each other, 400 and something feet apart. Okay, and the whole thing that made me remember was Jack Hemberger, the day he got me to come to his house and get on the phone with George Lucas, and he told me he was going to make me rich and famous, found out about Jedi Knights in the Force, and who else knew about it. He almost killed me in his backyard with a piece of rebar. It's in my other videos. Please, go back and watch some of them. You know, I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and remake the original first video I made about this, because I tend to leave out details when I get distracted by detail, because I got a very one-track mind, and I apologize for that, and I'm a terrible videographer as well. But that doesn't change the fact of what I'm saying. The truth is the truth. I don't care if you don't like it, you know. And recently I lost my dogs, and then I lost my wife, and it's made me, you know, that much more dedicated to putting the truth out, you know. That you know, because life is short, you know. Life is short. So, you know, I miss my wife, I miss my dogs, but you can't live a lie. George Lucas has been lying to you all for 47 years. You know, 3 years, you think about it, that'll be 50 years since he stole Jedi Knights of the Force from me. Even though Star Wars didn't actually come out until 77, that was 3 years later. So, I mean, you all probably didn't know about it until 44 years ago, whatever. Star Wars came out in 77, so yeah, you got a few years until you hit the 50 year on that one. But it doesn't change what he did. I mean, it's pretty low down to steal from a little kid like that and make that promise. And at the time, I was really just recovering from, I pulled a coffee percolator down on me. And in other videos, I always say this side of my face, but if you look, there's actually still a scar on my face from that coffee pot landing on my shoulder, and it poured down my back. And actually, I still have burns, scars. I pulled a percolator down on me, and a lot of it went down the side of my right leg. I had a hard time walking. I got put in dance school and karate classes to learn to stretch my leg. So over the years, I had to struggle, and especially at that time, I was struggling. I probably needed a little bit more plastic surgery than I was able to afford. And the fact is my parents divorced in '73 just before this happened. So, but they were still back and forth with this at that point, and they were there was a lot going on. And we ended up getting put in a foster home the following year after that. But did he bother to even see where I was? I mean, how could you do that? How could you know that you took something from this little kid and watch his life go right down the gutter and not do anything, and you made billions of dollars off of him? I would just find that so despicable, and all of you should. That's disgusting. The man stole from a 7-year-old kid and let him go down the freaking drain. I mean, what? Who? I crawled back out of it on my own. I went to worked for a living my whole life. When I got old enough to start working, I did. I've been working ever since. I've gotten everything I've had from work. You know? I've never seen any kind of privilege at all. I'm sorry. If you think getting robbed by a billionaire is privilege, then I must be having loads. I've never seen any privilege. Except to be robbed. Is that a privilege? Please. Okay, so I'm going to end this here. This is just a short video, and I'm gonna make a whole video like my first one. It was called Sci-Fi Revelation. I still didn't have all the details together at that point. I didn't have all my paperwork together, and I showed y'all a little, and I really didn't have things in order to really make a good video and give you a good presentation and show you the story of what really happened with George Lucas and me and his cousin Jack Hamburger in 1974. But everything I'm telling you is true, people. He steals from little kids and makes promises to the world, then watches their life, which is utter destruction, and then didn't do anything about it. He never looked into my life and said, here, maybe I better help this kid. He did help me out. No, George didn't do that. So if you think Star Wars is good, if you think George Lucas is good, you're sorely misled, and you will answer to God. You will answer to God, and so will he. I'm sorry. You don't like it? Great. I love Star Wars. The first 3 movies I went and seen. The Phantom Menace I went and seen in 1998, 99, whenever it came out. And later in 1999, almost as the year was turning into 2000, is when my mother started telling a story about me falling on this stick. And that's not what happened. Not what happened. And I said, that's not what happened. I was in this kid's backyard, the Jack Hamburger, George Lucas's cousin. That's when he almost killed me with a piece of rebar. I'm going to make another video, or you can go back and watch the old ones, where I just kind of, it seems like if you watch them all, then you'll get the full story. Whereas where I want to make a video where I put everything together in one video, and you can see all of it, and you have no questions left at the end of the video. And as far as me, I turn off comments. I don't turn off comments, sorry. I turn off the likes and dislikes, because some people just dislike it to be. So I really don't care about your opinion. If you don't like the truth, I'm sorry, you can't argue with facts. You can try, but there's no point. So people want to give me. I don't care if you comment. If you got a comment, if you want to say something, then please have a legitimate reason to comment to me. Don't come on and saying smart aleck stuff that has no relevance to the truth. So again, creative criticism is one thing. Trying to tell somebody or to argue with the truth is redundant. It's ignorant. I will delete ignorant comments, and I have done it before, and I'll do it again. If they come out and comment, you want to say something ignorant, George Lucas is corrupt. He stole from a 7-year-old kid in 1974. He used it to make a movie. I didn't write Star Wars. I didn't write the whole movie. He did all that. So there was maybe things that he did. You know, he made green screen the big thing, or blue screen, whatever they were using back then. So he did do a lot in pioneering movies, but he stole from people, and he stole from a 7-year-old kid, and that's disgusting. I'm sorry. If you don't like it, then take it out on him, or you talk to God, because I can't control what he did in 1974 any more than I can control what he's doing now and not telling the truth. And I can't force you to believe the truth. I'm just presenting it. You can do what you want with it. It's the truth. Deal with it.